all through history there has been a debate on the flavor and nature of the plants. Sun Simiao wrote in his addendum to the Qianjin Yaofang that because of differing quality of soil, different water composition, different climates, the same herbs from different areas can have a great variation in quality and effect. Certainly today, the way that herbs are farmed and processed has changed their characteristics. One of the great aspects of the Bancao Gangmu that I said is that herbs and all discrepancies, all opinions, all through time are listed side by side. So, for instance, with Dangui, we can see that the Bancao Gangmu says that Dangui is sweet and warm without toxins. But originally, it was believed to be bitter. And then Li Shizhen puts a little footnote and says, after more observation, he thinks that Dangui is sweet and acrid and warm. So, with all of this information, how do you choose who is right? And what's happened in the Bensky book today, in his addendum, he says that the flavor and nature that he chose, or they, because it's more than Bensky, it's a group of people that created that book, the flavor and nature that they chose is the one that appeared the most often in all of their sources. So it's important to know that there are many differing opinions, and yet we only have one in the text today. So here I am, I'm telling you that we have to pay attention to flavor and nature, and yet there's been debate on the flavor and nature. But what is paramount to our understanding is that the actions and the indications of the herbs are a direct result of the flavor and nature, right? We had the flavor and nature and the yin and yang, the lightness or the heaviness and the lightness, and then the channel theory and the 5-element theory and how they're used in formula, all creating this list of actions. But if we can agree that flavor and nature and the quality of the plant can change because of its location or its farming method or its processing method, then you have to extrapolate that the action and the indication of the plant is going to change as well. Right? It's crucial then that we understand the origin of the theory of these actions and indications. Especially, this is important with something like Renchen, because with the market for tonifying herbs, for boosting herbs, today the herbs are farmed, there's such a demand for them. Nothing is allowed to grow quietly, slowly on a craggy mountain and reach down for water. The Renchen today, its flavor and its nature is going to be different than the Renchen in Shandong's time. Therefore, its effect is going to be different on the body. It's kind of like a math problem that has a lot of variables. The flavor and the nature is one of the variables that gives us the answer of what it does. And in a math problem, if one of your variables change, your answer changes. So the point is we can't read this list of actions and indications as if it's set in stone. The actions that we read in a book are relative. It's relative to how the plant is grown and how it's processed and how it's stored. If I get Maimendol in my pharmacy and it's plump and lovely, and then I put it on a shelf in the sun in Hangzhou, where they had the hottest summer of 150 years, and it's 105 degrees for 6 weeks straight, when I go to use Maimendol, it's not going to be the same. It's dried out. It's cracking. So I can read that it's going to nourish yin. It's going to nourish a lot less yin today than it did 6 weeks ago. So the only answer to having these differing opinions on herbs is twofold. The first is knowing that there's differing opinions. Understanding, like I said, the history and the theory and how we got to the theory, because then you can understand how that theory can change. The second is to take the herbs ourselves. We should be taking herbs and asking questions if we don't get the results that we expect. Some herbs, I never get the results that it says in the book. A great example, I mentioned it briefly with Huang Qi. It makes my patients irritable, so I know if I want to use Huang Qi and I think Huang Qi is appropriate, I have to, almost it's as if it's one herb, I have to pair it with Tianhua Fen or maybe something really heavy like Lingtusher. My patients get irritable and kind of crazy. I personally, on a few occasions, have decided that I needed Huang Qi, and on the first day, I clean my house like a mad woman. The second day, there's biscuits and muffins and cookies and maybe like noodles from scratch. On the third day, Andrew shows up with a peace offering of like jusha or something, and my son says, Mom, wow, calm down, you need to take some other herbs. So if you're not taking herbs yourself and paying attention, the treatments that you think you're giving may not be what you're giving because the quality of the herbs has changed.